Welcome to Trekzone Plays, Matt Miller with you in Studio 4. Welcome to it. We're continuing my playthrough of Star Trek Judgment Rites, the follow-up to Star Trek the 25th anniversary from 1992. This is a couple of years later. Graphics have advanced a little bit. We've got an amazing storyline to follow. This, as I said, is Star Trek Judgment Rites as part of Trekzone Plays.
Retro games with no commentary. This is Trekzone Plays.
Aye, Captain, I'm looking forward to taking leave on Nova Atar. The museum there is supposed to be quite excellent. Lots of antique and one-of-a-kind machinery.
Commander, are you certain it's not the Kazakhstanian cognac you're looking forward to?
Do they make that there, laddie? I don't know.
Why, Mr. Scott, I'm surprised at you, not knowing the location of a famous distillery.
We invented that brandy, you know.
Right.
Of course you did.
No, really. We did.
No one would ever doubt you, Ensign, however...
Sorry to interrupt, Captain, but we have an emergency call from the science vessel Demeter. She's in orbit around Balkos 3.
On screen.
Captain Kirk, good to see you're in the area.
You have an emergency, Commander Gelman?
Well, I'm not sure, actually. Maybe more of a case of better safe than sorry. We're orbiting Balkos 3 to study the Balkosi, a race of people just entering their own Stone Age. We've only been here 2 days. Already, we've found some unusual data. But just a few minutes ago, during the deep geologic probing phase, we were suddenly scanned.
Scanned? I thought the Balkosi were just developing.
They are, Captain. And there haven't been any indications of old civilizations until now. The scan was also of extreme power. Following that, we detected a power source coming online. We'll send the coordinates along with all the other information we've gathered. I was a little concerned that we triggered an old defense mechanism. With the amount of information it pulled in its scan, we'd be an easy target. I've moved the Demeter to a higher orbit on the far side of the planet.
Quite reasonable, Commander. We're on our way.
Thank you, Captain.
Kirk out.
Approaching Balkos 3, Captain.
Entering standard orbit.
Spock, come with me. Scotty, you have the con, Lieutenant. Ask Dr. McCoy to meet us in the transporter room.
Yes, Captain?
What the devil was that? An attack?
While I cannot guarantee a lack of physical change, Doctor, we seem to be unharmed. I therefore conclude we have been scammed.
Captain, are you all right? Sensors detected a burst of power followed by some sort of powerful transmission.
According to Spock, we're in perfect health, Scotty.
According to Spock?
Never mind, Mr. Scott. Can you track the transmission to its destination?
I'll give it a try, Captain, but it's like nothing I've ever seen before.
It never is, Mr. Scott. It never is. Kirk out.
I guess you were right, Spock. Here I thought we were dead for a second.
Doctor, that would have made conversation quite difficult.
I was making a joke, Spock.
Were you, Doctor?
Gentlemen, I believe we have some business at hand.
It is an unknown piece of equipment inside an energy field. I cannot get an accurate reading, Captain, due to a force field. However, it appears to be a transmitter.
A small stone, 8-pointed star suspended from the ceiling. A relatively small machine full of electronics with a glass port on the front. While this is obviously an alien structure, you're fairly certain this is a door.
Quite simple, considering the appearance of the other machinery here. All that was needed was a power interrupt. The doors will only stay closed while power is on. Interesting.
A view screen that looks very similar to the one on the Enterprise.
The energy field is blocking any tricorder readings of the machinery inside. Indicate advanced optical computer circuitry is contained within that box. It may be useful. An optically controlled switch meant to be used by remote operation. It may be useful with other devices in the complex. Optical interface cables. These could be used to connect myriad devices. This is an interface card for a computer display. Captain, the tricorder readings indicate there are small devices in that container. The devices are related in some way to energy fields. It would take a closer examination to be certain. There are still several batteries in the bin, Captain. This unit is manufacturing miniature broadcast circuitry.
A high-pressure device for joining two objects. No effect.
Spock, what kind of interface is this?
A bridge unit for use between function control and display circuitry, Captain. It could be helpful to have.
We got hit with a power surge. It's interfering with sensors and we might have some trouble locking onto you.
Well, if we intend on taking our shore leave with the rest of the crew, we'd better find out what's causing that power surge.
No effect.
Spock, what do you make of these?
This appears to be a set of interface cables.
Spock, any idea what this box is?
The cube contains control circuitry. I suggest we keep it.
Spock, is that a switch?
Yes, a fairly simple switching device, Captain. Captain, these items appear to be configured to produce a small energy field of some sort. They do not appear to be powered at this time.
Why don't you see what you can do with them, Spock?
That would seem to be a logical thing to do. I will take enough for all of us. The bin contains small plastic discs, Captain. The plastic is essentially inert in this form. However, if placed under pressure, it will become a superconductor capable of storing significant energy compared to its size. It will break down over time. That is why it is commonly stored in this state.
Probably should hang on to a few, don't you think?
A logical choice. This is a very specialized pressure device, Captain. The badge will go into one hopper and be combined under pressure with another item.
Well, I think it looks like a button maker. Can it make me a badge that says if man was meant to transport, his atoms would already be scattered?
Possibly, Doctor. But after pressure application, it would be unlikely you would be capable of reading much.
You're not a lot of fun, Spock.
I did not realize that was part of my job requirement, Doctor. Is it part of yours?
At times like this, yes.
The badges have been placed into the hopper, Captain. The batteries have been placed into the device. Since we know this is a high-pressure device, it would be logical to either use it or leave it alone.
What is that smell?
There is a chemical change due to the pressure. That is simply a small amount of outgassing by the plastic, Doctor. Captain, the badges and batteries are now joined.
A recharging station.
This device transforms its internal energy into useful quantities for other portable devices. The transfer takes place at the small outlet junction located near the center of the unit.
So what is that in English, you pointed-eared confusion factory?
In English, it remains exactly as I said. However, for those unskilled in the language, this is a battery charger.
For once, why can't you just come up with a simple explanation first?
It's not always necessary, Doctor. You are not always around.
What is it with you two? You're like children. I'm getting tired of it. Why am I snapping at you?
The badges change color.
I believe the units are now fully operational.
Hopefully these badges will help us with some of these force fields. We should each keep one of them with us while we're here. Spock, what do you make of the screen?
This is a computer display module, Captain. The computer is now functional. Fascinating. There's only a limited amount of control available on this console. I believe there are other functions it controls, but these functions cannot be accessed.
I'm not sure I understand, Spock.
Nor I, Captain. What purpose would be served by limiting access?
What purpose indeed? Bones, any ideas?
Why are you asking me? Is this some kind of pop quiz?
Two other things, Captain. There is a reference in the limited readout which leads me to believe there are other complexes on the planet somehow connected with this one. Location and function are not specified or available.
That's only one, Spock.
True, Captain. I was just waiting to see if you had any comments.
Not that I'd like to share at this moment, Mr. Spock, please.
There is one other repair that is possible. One device can be controlled from this console if its command circuit is replaced. I will not be able to determine what device that is until the replacement circuit is installed. It is now possible for me to shut down a force field at some other location. I do not know where or what the force field protects.
Yes, I'm getting tired of force fields. One less will be a pleasure no matter what it does. No, let's look around a bit more first. Yes, I'm getting tired of force fields. One less.
Captain, my attempt to turn off the force field has triggered some sort of computer activity. It is requesting that I allow some sort of display to occur on the screen. Shall I allow it?
I don't know if that's a good idea. Let's wait. By all means, Spock. Curiosity may kill cats, but I'm hoping humans will fare a little better.
That's comforting, Jim.
It appears we've chosen correctly, Captain. The controls indicate that the force field has been dropped.
A high-protein bacteria mixed with some sort of pheromone-style compound. I don't know what effects the pheromone would have on our physiology. I would need to take a sample back to the lab on the Enterprise to conduct a study.
A group of tubes and cube-like devices that seem to be processing something. Smooth rock and tight connections everywhere. An orb and disc configured device hangs from the ceiling.
Internal structure hidden by force field effects. The uncovered areas consist of a pair of unknown vents and a solid inclined drop chute.
The Valkosian system shows heightened stress and metabolic activities.
Captain, I do not notice any external controls. This appears to be a self-automated unit.
They look peaceful enough, Jim.
We should be able to gain valuable data studying the Valkosi.
Well, maybe we'll see a Valkosian here.
Captain, I will attempt to restrain the Valkosian when he stops to eat. The nerve bundle seemed quite thick. My assumption is that the Valkosian is unharmed, but will remain unconscious for a considerable time.
Jim, the Demeter scans noted a medical examination room next door, and I'd like to take this Valkosian there and check him out. I want to see what that gas is doing to him.
Not a bad idea, Bones.
My God, look at these readings. Everything's elevated. Small wonder that the Valkosi are in turmoil. Every aggression-related hormone in this guy's body is working overtime.
What's causing it, Bones?
That little hiss of air was loaded with pheromones, Jim. The creature inhaled them and immediately went into overload.
This must happen at random intervals when they collect the food.
I hate to sound like Spock, but there's more, and it's pretty fascinating. Also horrifying. The pheromone is perfectly tuned to the Valkosian physiology. It's like somebody genetically engineered both.
Didn't the Demeter report say there weren't enough records showing the Valkosian presence on the planet? Could they have been put here on purpose?
It is possible we have stumbled in on an experiment, Captain.
With the subjects being treated like rats, it's criminal, Jim. These can be thinking beings.
I'm not certain it is the Valkosi that are the subjects, Bone. I think it is us.
Interesting hypothesis, Captain. what is your supporting data?
It's the way all of this is set up, Spock. I can't put my finger on it, but it just feels so set up. We keep finding out just enough to make choices. The real question is who? Who's doing this to us?
And to what purpose, Captain? Why?
Why indeed, Spock. Why indeed. No, I don't think that's necessary.
Assuming the appropriate signal is received, this unit can be shut down safely. The shutdown signal does not originate here. Captain, there's a small display active. It appears that this device is a memory unit, an archive. Most amazing. The information is in volatile memory. If power were lost to this device, all information contained within would be lost. An odd way to create an archive.
What is in the archive?
The displays indicate it contains a vast amount of data on three-dimensional projection. Circuitry diagrams, equipment construction techniques. Essentially, everything needed to project lifelike images in great detail inside of a structure. Starfleet does not have this level of technology. This would be a major find for the Federation.
Then I think that gathering that data would be a very good thing to do, Mr. Spock.
Very well, Captain. Captain, the display indicates that the best view of the projection will be from the south side of the room.
Well, gentlemen?
Anyone got popcorn?
Bones. Impressive, Spock.
Captain, I'm not responsible for that occurrence. However, I did discover that accessing the memory will not only trigger the shutdown of this unit, it will also send a signal to another device, most likely one somewhere in this complex. Damaging the unit will also initiate shutdown and signal transmission.
There's no way around it?
None, Captain.
What is this, some kind of idiotic test? Don't fool with that, Spock. You'll poison this planet and make these inhabitants permanently aggressive.
Doctor, you do not know for certain that whoever placed the Balcosi here did not intend for that to happen. The aggressiveness may be what they need to develop further. And the information in the archive is a reward for sending the Balcosi into the next stage of their development.
You just want to get your Vulcan fingers on that precious scientific information. More like 30 pieces of silver for condemning the Balcosi to the lives of violence. Jim, you can't let this unfeeling monster do this to the Balcosi.
Do you wish me to continue attempting to access the archive, Captain?
Yes, Spock. That information could be critical to the Federation. Let's hold off until we get a little more information.
This generator may be providing power for more than just this complex. It is broadcasting power, which is causing the interference in communications with the Enterprise. I cannot tell for certain if there are receiving units for this power, because some of the readout circuits are damaged. Fascinating.
What is fascinating this time, Spock? I doubt it's fascinating to either Bones or myself, but I'm sure that won't stop you from telling us. What is fascinating this time, Spock?
You tell him, Jim. I'm getting sick of this alien smarter-than-thou attitude.
If either of you had an ounce of logic, you would be more prepared to listen to my information, and possibly even understand it.
Bordering on insubordination, aren't we, Mr. Spock?
I always knew that no emotion garbage was just a cover. He thinks he should be in charge.
Mr. Spock, I'll have those findings from you right now.
Captain, it appears the circuit was deliberately damaged. This would only be possible if the force field were down. Who would damage their own machinery? And for what purpose?
More and more curious, Mr. Spock.
Also, Captain, I am able to determine that if power is interrupted rather than shut down from the console, it will send a signal to the discharge unit and release the bacteria into the atmosphere. The readout is now fully functional. There are other locations on this planet receiving power from this generator. Most peculiar, the locations of these units are not in the database.
And you think they should be?
It would be logical, Captain. But removing the circuit that controls the on and off functions of this device would also be illogical.
Are you trying to tell me that's what happened here?
Exactly, Captain. Until that repair is made, it would be impossible to execute a proper shutdown procedure. The repair is complete, Captain. It would now be possible to safely shut this machine down. However, doing so would certainly affect all the other equipment in this complex. Captain, do you wish me to start the shutdown sequence on the generator?
Let's hold off on that for now, Spock. Shut it down, Spock.
Well, that ends that threat. Balcosi can rest peacefully tonight and from now on.
It is still a trying time in their development, Doctor.
Think of it as an adventure, Spock. Scotty, 3 to beam up.
Captain, the power source has completed its shutdown cycle. There is no trace of the bacteria or pheromone in the atmosphere. It would appear the Balcosi are free to choose their own future.
Good to hear, Spock. I know losing a find like that archive has to hurt.
That would be an emotional response.
Of course it would. How silly of me.
Captain, there are 2 signals being broadcast from the planet. The first is another burst following the same path as the original broadcast. The other signal emanates from nearby the first. It's aimed at us, Captain. Message from Starfleet, Captain.
On screen, Lieutenant.
Interesting report, Jim. I think you were right to release the Balcosi from outside influence. Too bad you couldn't retrieve the archive. No one at Starfleet has any idea who is behind all this, or what the testing message was all about. Keep us informed as you find out more. I've got confidence in you, Jim.
I've reviewed your report from your recent assignment, Captain, and have a few comments. I am very pleased with your performance. It was a perfect mission, Jim. Your reputation as Starfleet's best starship captain is secure. Kane out.